All right, we're going to start recording, and I think we're ready to go. Before Stan kicks it off, just a reminder, everybody is muted, and please utilize the chat feature with any questions, and we have some interactive messaging and links that we'll be sharing along the way as well.
All right, thank you, Jill, and again, thank you everyone for joining this afternoon. Please feel free, if you grabbed your lunch, please feel free to imbibe in your nutrition and beverages as we go through our kickoff today. So, good afternoon and welcome to the Southeast Florida chapter corporate kickoff. We're so excited that you're here to learn more about the walk and the Alzheimer's Association. Today, we're going to learn more about the mission of the Alzheimer's Association and how you can help the millions of people nationwide who are currently afflicted by this devastating disease. My name is Stan Meadows, and I am the Executive Director at Holy Cross Health. I'm honored to be your MC today. So I do have a little bit of a script, so if I'm not looking directly at the camera, I apologize, but there's a lot we want to cover and inform you on. But the cause is especially important to me because my grandfather, Arnold, was diagnosed with dementia in the late 1970s at a very early age of 61. For most of his life, he worked in construction as a steel erector, building skyscrapers and walking along I-beams 20 to 30 stories above ground without safety harnesses back then. When the symptoms started, I thought Grandpa was just needed being reminded of things because he was getting a little older. The strong, energetic person that I had known grew quieter every time we visited. Grandma would say everything's just fine, that he's just tired or needs some time to relax from a busy work week. I knew something was not quite right. My family did shelter me from most of the details back then. In 1985, my grandfather lost his battle with Alzheimer's and other dementia only 6 years after being diagnosed. I became aware of the Alzheimer's Association and their mission in the early 90s and realized I had to become involved to honor him. I knew resources were not as plentiful back when my family was caring for my grandfather and thought, I want to help. But more importantly, how can I help? That's when I started participating by creating my very first walk team. It was a very small step, I thought, but the first step is how I got started with my journey with the Alzheimer's Association and why I've continued to get more involved year after year. I urge everyone here today to take your first step. Create a team, become a volunteer, fundraise, and be sure to walk. Alzheimer's never stops, and neither will we. I am the proud event chair also of the 2020 Broward County Walk to End Alzheimer's, and I'm honored to share this platform with the other Southeast Florida walk event chairs. Andali Ansola Lawrence with the Treasure Coast Walk, Miami, Cheryl Van Hare from Boca, and Corey Zordani with West Palm Beach. On behalf of all the walk chairs, we thank you for being here today to learn more about how you can help us end Alzheimer's. Blink twice. Every time you do, another person in the world just developed Alzheimer's disease. They are parents, friends, siblings, customers, and coworkers. Alzheimer's and dementia impacts individuals and their families, often requiring years of caregiving and expenses. The disease not only steals memories and moments, but whole identities and ultimately lives. Right now, 1 in 3 seniors will die from the disease, and by 2050, that number is projected to increase to 1 in 2. This isn't just their fight, it's our fight too. And that's why it's important to continue to move our mission forward. Some of you may be wondering, who is the Alzheimer's Association? What do we do? And we'll definitely answer those questions here today. But more importantly, you may be wondering why. Why do we exist? And why are you all here today? The Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. Our vision is a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. The association provides support groups, education programs, and other activities to help people navigate the disease. all completely supported by donations made through Walked in Alzheimer's and the other association events throughout each year. The Alzheimer's Association has made fundraising research a priority in order to slow and one day stop the disease. The association has granted more than $167 million to over 500 international research projects working towards methods of treatment and prevention. The Alzheimer's Association also is the leading voice of Alzheimer's disease advocacy, fighting for critical Alzheimer's research and care initiatives at the state, local, and federal level. As an organization, we may only reach a portion of those of our affected community with our services, but with advocacy through legislative efforts, we can reach 100%. How? We connect with volunteer advocates like yourself to the policymakers who can make a difference. Some of you on today's call may already be too familiar with the impact this disease has on families like myself. Alzheimer's takes a big toll on people nationwide, and it's important to also remember that Alzheimer's is not just an elderly person's issue, it's also a family issue. Did you know approximately 25% of caregivers are in the sandwich generation? Those are individuals who are caring for their parents as well as children who are under the age of 18. 85 billion hours of unpaid caregiving is valued at over $234 billion. Financially devastating, Alzheimer's is the most expensive disease in the US. By 2050, it could cost the nation as much as $1.1 trillion with a T, yes, I said trillion dollars. These facts are staggering and are part of the reason why it's so important to keep programs in South Florida. One of those programs is Project Vital. Project Vital was created to address the governor's call to action to combat social isolation within long-term care facilities. Phase one of this innovation consisted of a partnership with the Alzheimer's Association and a contract with the technology company IN2L. In phase one, 300 customized tablets were delivered to 156 long-term care facilities throughout Florida, along with support services and core programs, as well as training, mentoring through Project Echo provided by the Alzheimer's Association. We didn't stop there. Phase two of the Project Vital included the distribution of another 300 tablets to an additional 150 long-term care facilities with the services, programs, training, and mentoring provided in the phase one participants. On August 20th, as part of the phase two, the Alzheimer's Association will be hosting a free virtual forum featuring Secretary Lance Robertson, HHS Administration for Community Living, and Assistant Secretary for Aging in the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, Secretary Richard Prudhomme. Free continuing education is available for registered nurses and nursing home administrators, courtesy of Florida Senior Living Association. So I encourage you to participate. By now, you may be thinking, what can I do to help my employees or coworkers or people that I know with this disease? Well, we are here for you, your employees and coworkers. We have several programmatic and education events here in the Southeast, beginning with the virtual Brain Bus class, our 24/7 helpline, support groups, our caregiver college series, and so much more. All of these are free to our community, thanks in part to those of you on this call who support the Walked in Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's Association is here for families 24/7, 365 days a year, if you weren't aware. Here is how we're helping those in need right here in Florida. From nearly 19,000 education and support programs and 12,000 calls to our free 24/7 helpline and care consultations to 100 brain bus stops, we can continue to provide these complimentary services to our community during the COVID pandemic and beyond. With Alzheimer's diagnoses on the rise and the challenges presented from COVID-19, this is an extremely difficult time for not only those with the disease, but other caregivers and supporters as well. Please know that the Alzheimer's Association is here for you through our 24/7 helpline. You can also find additional resources on our website and guidance specifically related to COVID-19 at alz.org/COVID-19. And you can see that right there on the screen for you. Not only is Alzheimer's impacting families, but it's also having an effect on the workplace. Something that you may not be aware of is that you have employees that are caregivers, which means your company is being impacted by this devastating disease. 6 in 10 caregivers of people with Alzheimer's or other dementia were employed in the last year while providing care. These individuals worked an average of 35 hours per week while caregiving. Alzheimer's takes a disruptive toll on the workplace too. 57% of employed caregivers had to go in late, leave early, or take time off due to the caregiver demands that they have every day. These staggering statistics reflect the urgency to support caregivers in the workplace for the 1 in 3 seniors that will die from Alzheimer's or other dementia every year. To share more about who we are and what we do, I'd like to introduce you to Ilian Zamlet from Takeda and your West Palm Beach co-chair. She is with us today because she is excited to share her journey with you. Welcome, Ilian, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Dan, and thank you guys for having me today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I walk. And I walk in honor and support of my mother and my father. So my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 8 years ago at the age of 68, just a couple years after retiring from a long career in Palm Beach County Public Schools as an art teacher. This is a picture of my mother and I at my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And I'm thankful that she was still cognizant enough to realize what was going on and enjoy time with family and friends. How she's doing now, when people ask me, is I always say that she's happy and healthy, which is the most that we can ask for somebody in her condition, as she's in the late stages. I got involved with the Alzheimer's Association because this was an idiopathic diagnosis for us. Nobody in our family had ever been diagnosed with Alzheimer's before, so it was a new experience. And it was rattling. In the beginning, we didn't know really what to do or where to turn. And that's where the Alzheimer's Association was a great benefit to my family. I can remember my father and I went to a caregivers meeting early on in the diagnosis just to kind of prepare us for what we had lying ahead for us with the care with my mother, and also how to better prepare her for what was coming. So Hank, who's a board member who I think is going to be speaking later, his mother and my mother were best friends and taught together. And when he found out about my mother's diagnosis, he is the one who introduced me to the association, to the walk, and to all the benefit that we can have. And what I tell everybody is that, you know, the walk may have changed this year, but the needs haven't. My mother benefits from the resources and what the Alzheimer's Association provides here in Palm Beach County. And I'm proud to walk for her. I know she would do it for me if she could right now. And I'm happy that I have my team. This will be a 3rd year that I have my team. Last year, my team raised over $10,000. And I'm happy and proud to know that that support and that money stays with resources here in the community to help my mom and patients like my mother. So I encourage you all to start your walk team, walk in your neighborhoods this year, raise money. I know it's a difficult time, but just know these are the faces that you all are helping when you engage in this cause. So thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you, Ilian. Appreciate you sharing your story and your lovely photo there. So thanks again. We really appreciate that. And just wanted, I know I speak on behalf of everyone joining us today. Your bravery has been tremendous, and I really do enjoy having you be a voice and an additional voice with us, and for all you do for the Alzheimer's Association. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. For many of you on today's call, this might be your first time hearing about the Walk to End Alzheimer's. This event takes place not only in our community, but in communities all across the country. Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is a signature event of the Alzheimer's Association, plays a significant role in helping the association advance its mission, and it's because of people like you who are on the call today. Last year, the Southeast Florida chapter, more than 12,000, that's a lot, 12,000 walkers raised more than $1.4 million for the mission of the Alzheimer's Association. But this year we're still walking, and it may be just a little bit different than what we're used to. But supporting the Alzheimer's Association will allow you, your employees, the opportunity to come together around a common cause and create a bright spot during this time. Now, we just talked about what Walked In Alzheimer's is, and now let's talk about the why. Partnering with WALK, especially during these uncertain times, can be that opportunity to bring colleagues together in the fight against Alzheimer's. It allows for your employees to build camaraderie, whether they are in the office or working virtually. They can have fun planning fundraising activities together, or even better yet, having some friendly competition within the workplace amongst departments within your company or organization. It's also an opportunity to boost employee morale and engagement, while all creating a positive presence in the community. By partnering with Walked In Alzheimer's, it shows your company cares about being part of the solution to one day have a world without Alzheimer's. But don't take my word for it, believe you me. Next, we're going to hear from a Walk to End Alzheimer's team captain to tell you more about their experience. So please join me in welcoming an association board member and team captain, Hank Clear. Hank, I'll let you take it away now. He was on remotely. I know he was driving, so he should be there.
Stan, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you, Hank. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating today. We appreciate it. So
my picture on the screen looks a lot better right now because I haven't cut my hair since COVID came out. So not to alarm anybody, but thanks for taking some time and everybody that's on the call. My name is Hank Clear, and my wife and I own and operate Financial Strategies Group, which is a financial planning firm. And both of our lives have been touched by Alzheimer's. My wife's father was diagnosed at the age of 64 and lived with the disease for 10 years. And my grandmother suffered from dementia. And because our financial planning firm works and specializes with people who are basically helping them to retire, we deal with an older clientele and people that tend to be more susceptible with diagnosis of Alzheimer's. And we've had many clients, spouses diagnosed or parents diagnosed. And so our company about 8 years ago decided to adopt the Alzheimer's Association as kind of our corporate charitable efforts. And in the first year, we had only 4 employees, and we set a goal of raising $5,000. And I'm happy to report that not only did we meet that goal, we exceeded it. And I don't tell you that to brag. I tell that story more to say that you don't have to be a large corporation to make a significant impact. So with 4 employees, we were able to do that. And so for those of you who are on the call, you know, whether this is the first time you're considering starting a team, or maybe you're someone who's returning who wants to do a team again, I just want to quickly go through kind of what I call how to build a $5,000 team. And initially that might seem like it's a really big number, but here's really the approach to take. First is, if you're not the owner of the business, it's to talk to management or owners of businesses that you're affiliated with, because you do need their buy-in to make this successful. And by buy-in, what I mean is simply allowing you at perhaps your team meetings or your periodic meetings you have to be able to put you on the agenda to stand up and give if you will, a 15-minute commercial that says, this is what we're doing. I'm starting a team. I'm the team captain. And here's why I'm doing it. And also asking if you could talk with people that might be interested in joining the team. And I caution you, when you do this, this is not the time to ask them to join your team. It's about having the conversation about Alzheimer's. I think you will find when you tell people this, you will be surprised by how many people in the room lives have already been impacted by Alzheimer's. Either it's a family member, a friend, or someone that they know. And it's just not something you talk about. You don't introduce yourself and say, hey, my dad had Alzheimer's disease. I mean, and so when you start this conversation, you're going to find there's a lot of people in the room. So here's the ask in that first meeting. Would you mind if I just have a brief conversation with you if you have some interest of getting involved? And here's the 2 hurdles you have to overcome. When you ask people to join a team, the first thing they think is, oh my goodness, how much time is this going to take? And the next question is, what's it going to cost? How much do I have to donate? And so I tell them very quickly, from a time commitment, it can be as little as 3 hours of your time spread out over the next 2 months. And from a cost standpoint, a $20 donation. And so this kind of, I think, breaks down that first hurdle to say this is not a big time commitment and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. So then you get into the details. So let's talk about the time in building the team. You know, as a team captain, you can work with new team members, and it probably takes 15 to 20 minutes to help them create their walk page that they will use to then send emails out to ask people to make contributions. And the reality is it's also easier when you send an email because it's a much more passive way of asking people to get involved. I think some people are also very uncomfortable asking people for money. And to some degree during these times with COVID, even more, you know, conscious of what people's financial situations are as we work through this pandemic. So now, you know, all you're doing is you're sending an email. And all you need to do is send 3 emails. So that first email you send out to people, your friends, your associates, your family, it's to simply state, hey, this is why I'm doing this, and I've set a goal. Will you help me? And no contribution is too small. And then a couple weeks later, you send out a second email. And that's an email that just simply says thank you, and thanks to people that have already donated, and also asking if the same group would be interested in donating. The second email is really critical because, you know, sometimes, again, some people have this apprehension that we're pestering people and things of that nature. But what I find a lot of times, and our experience has taught us, is that first email comes out and people see it and they're like, you know what, I want to donate to Hank's fundraiser. And then they get busy, and the next thing you know, that email is an old email that's buried below another 100 or 200 emails. So when that second email comes out, they're like, oh, you know what, I'm so glad you sent that second email because now I can go ahead and do something. And then the third email is the week before the walk. And it's an opportunity, again, to express your thanks and then ask for a little bit more help to help you reach your goal. People want to see you be successful in this effort. So when you tell them, hey, I have that goal of $500, you know, I'm sitting at $375, you'll be surprised how people will make a donation to help you reach that next level. And let me give you the numbers. And here's what I really like to do to break down how easy this can be. As a team captain, your goal should be to try to find 10 people to join your team. That's all you need to do, 10 people. And think of those 10 people if they were maybe able to do a $100 donation. Right off the bat, you've raised $1,000. Now, if each one of those participants could send 20 emails to get people to donate $20, they've now raised $400. So each person now has raised $500. You're now a $5,000 team. It really is that easy. And you know, I would be happy to talk with any of you one-on-one. If you want to sign up for a team, reach out to the Alzheimer's Association. I'll arrange to have a one-on-one call with you and share in a lot more detail. But I think really what I want to get across is that this is something that is serious or important to you, you can make a big impact with not a tremendous amount of effort and time and cost. And I think building that team is what's helped us over the last 8 years have successful walk teams. And that's really the model we use. It's really that simple. So Stan, I'll give it back to you.
All right, thank you, Hank. That was great. I love how you went through step by step on how to show how quickly and easily, you know, you can get to that $5,000 team for fundraising. And I would agree. I think it's, you know, you do have to have some methodology behind it, but I think that was a very quick 3-step process that you showed and shared everybody with. So Again, thanks. I'm glad to hear how important, and obviously the Alzheimer's Association's very glad to have your support and why the walk is so important to your company and your family. Thanks again. So what I might like to do is to transition a little bit to let you know that, while the walk is not exactly the way it has been in the past, we are still getting sponsors. People are still, companies, corporations, organizations are still sponsoring us and the event, and there's still time to do so. So right here's our sponsor slide I'll give up, and I just want to give a special thanks to Edward Jones and CVS Health for our national presenting sponsors for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. They're also joined by thousands of local sponsors throughout our communities that are alongside us and are determined to end Alzheimer's just like we are here today. We'd like to highlight our local sponsors is Holy Cross Health, then it's a little bit blurry there, but hopefully it'll come up here. There we go. The link might be a little, might have been a little slow there for a second. Belmont Village, IN2L, UPS, NCCI, GEM Research, the Palms of St. Lucie West, sorry, the Brenedy at Tradition, Your Life of Coconut Creek, Oxbow, Allegro, Humana, WPLG, I Think Financial, Healthcare Center at Sinai Residences, LifeSpace Communities, WPTV, and Nostalgic Magazine. We want to thank them for their support as of right now and their continued support for the walk this year. So as I mentioned, the walk is going to be a little different this year than what we have in the past. So there is a little bit of a new experience that we're going to be having this time. And I want to share with you a little bit about how we're going to be doing that differently this year, but to make sure you're all going to be involved for sure. The walk is obviously everywhere, and from downtowns to small towns and in here in South Florida, on the beaches even probably. We're excited to share this vision with you of what this is going to look like. While we aren't gathering in large groups like before, we are walking still. We are walking from wherever you feel safe, wherever your small team feels safe, wherever your family feels safe. You'll be walking on your city's assigned day and time. That has not changed. And we will be giving that information out. Here's two today. You'll be able to log in to watch our opening and Promise Garden ceremonies throughout an online interactive platform, which will be available shortly. Next, you'll embark in the 5K walk or run in honor of the 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's and other dementia. Along the way, you'll be able to follow along on an interactive map, utilize even a step tracker so we can track our steps throughout the day, and more, which will come on the newly upgraded Walk to End Alzheimer's app. And if you haven't downloaded that yet, be sure you do, because it's actually, the upgrades are coming every once in a while. So the app is getting more and more robust, and it's a fantastic app. After you've completed the 5K that day, you will be then invited to your community's drive-through view-only Promise Garden. And so what we're going to do is we are going to set up our Promise Gardens this year. We know how important that is. And you're going to be able to drive through an engaging, environment of the Promise Garden flowers, as well as highlight our event sponsors and obviously the top supporters and the top teams for this year. While this isn't quite the year we all envisioned, obviously, we are excited that this experience is going to embark on new walk day experiences and elements, and we're here to share those with you. So now I'm going to explain to you, this is kind of our how do you participate and how can you be part of the 2020 Walk to End Alzheimer's this year. There are many ways to become engaged, obviously, with the walk to show your support. The first way is become an event sponsor. So that's our middle box there. We have a refreshed sponsorship package that we can share with you in a wide variety of ways and monetary levels your company or organization can receive marketing exposure in the community during this time while supporting our incredible mission and event. Consumers expect companies to lead with purpose now. Companies that lead with purpose will stand to build deeper bonds with the existing consumers, expand their consumer base, and enlist those brand advocates to share the brand message. The data shown below highlights how consumers feel about purpose-driven companies. And will we share that, Jill, shortly or not? Okay. The second is by forming a team. Obviously, our first box, which is what was my first step I did in joining the cause to fight Alzheimer's, is to build a team. And sponsoring a walk is just a great way to increase your reach and exposure in our communities. Forming a team will also add another layer onto your organization or your company's commitment as a sponsor, and will add more awareness efforts of the moment by engaging your employees and having them speak about and talk about your involvement within the walk. It's free to register, but of course, you know, this is a fundraiser. We are trying to raise funds for the association, and we encourage everyone to raise a minimum of $100. And by doing so, you'll get to receive the 2020 walk t-shirt, which will be sent to you via mail. Obviously, we want to be contactless as much as possible this year. There's also different levels for individual sponsors or individuals themselves and walkers. Those can be Champions Club for walkers raising $500, Grand Champions raising $1,000, and Elite Grand Champions who raise $2,500 individually or more. All of those individual fundraising milestones receive incredible incentives and recognition for their achievements and throughout the event. Lastly, how do you get involved? If you're looking for a leadership opportunity, all the chairs here on the call today, we have so many ways you can be involved and join the local walk planning committees sprinkled throughout Southeast Florida. We need your support to help us continue the fight to end ALS, but we cannot do it without you. Now, I want to share the Alzheimer's Association PSA that's playing nationally to promote the Walk to End Alzheimer's. I'm sure you've seen it, but I'm going to have Jill tee that up so we can show that to you.
This year, the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's is everywhere, on every sidewalk, track, and trail across this country. All of us are raising funds for one goal: a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. Because this disease isn't waiting, neither are you. Take the first step on your walk right now. Go to alz.org/walk.
All right, thank you, Jill. That's great. Has anybody seen that? You can just shake your head or, you know, put in the chat like if you've seen it. The first time I saw it, I was so excited. I texted Jill and I said, "Did you see the ad? Did you see the ad?" So it was really great to see that happen. And all my friends that know how involved I am in the walk said the same thing, and they text me and everything. So it was really exciting. So how many of you are ready to make a commitment if you haven't done so already? I mean, truly ready, because I'm going to give you some ideas here. If you're ready to fight, it's time for your community to let your community know. Please chat in if you are going to be a team captain at this year's walk. I want to celebrate you for taking the first step in leading the way to end Alzheimer's disease. This is exciting. I want to see who is going to start texting here. I want everyone to start chatting if you're going to be a team captain this year or are a team captain. So please do so. That's great. Fantastic. I'm going to put it in there too because I'm a team captain. That's great. Look at everybody. This is great to see all the involvement. That's awesome. Gosh. My goodness. So in addition to all those who are already team captains and already involved, I know there's several of us out there on the call today who have, this might be their first time or their first exposure to the walk into the Alzheimer's Association. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to, the association staff members are going to be putting into the link an interest form link that we're going to that they're going to send up. Is that right, Jill? We're going to put that into the chat, and then they can click on that to link into it, correct?
Yep. Stephanie just put it in the chat. We're just going to pause for 30 seconds, allow everyone to open that up and fill it out, please.
Yep. And as you fill those out, just so you know, you're not going to just fill this form out. It's going to go into the abyss. I know some people are going, oh great, where does this information go? It'll go just to the association staff members, just so you're aware, and they will reach out to you to see, how they can help and support you locally in whichever role or whichever level of participation you would like to be involved in 2020. So again, so be sure, just click on that link there that Stephanie put in there. Give it another minute or so. We're right on time, so I'm gonna We
Put
are,
up some,
what,
put up
Jill?
some nice music. Just play a little music for a minute.
Yeah, give you some music to let you fill out your forms by. I hear that music. It wasn't, we didn't hear it initially, but that's all right. I see in the chat someone, Cheryl Van Hare has been the team captain for her 7th year. That's fantastic. That's amazing.
I love seeing the new team captains, first years. That's awesome.
I know. Let's see year ones. This is my 2nd year. Although I've done team captains before in the previous chapters, but this will be my 2nd year here with the Southeast Florida chapter.
Awesome. All right.
All right. First timer just signed up, Genevieve. I see that.
Hey,
Yay, Genevieve.
you got this, Genevieve.
Yeah, we're there for you. We'll support you. We'll help you however you need and whatever you need. Awesome.
All right.
All right. Well, we want to be respectful of your time because we know we only put in 45 minutes and we're getting close to that. So we want to be respectful there. So again, thank you for filling out those forms and putting your comments into chat. It's lots of fun to see all that happen. So we've heard some from amazing people today, from Ilian to Frank Clear and others who have obviously commented through the chat. But what's really important is that we're all here for one cause, and that is to end Alzheimer's. And so another way you can spread the support about the walk and about the Alzheimer's Association is, and when you send a text message or when you post something on Facebook, obviously join your local walk chapters Facebook pages too, or your walks Facebook pages. That's very important too. And always do the hashtag #EndALZ. That's very important because that just continues to build our social network out there to all your friends and coworkers and colleagues. And that'll just continue to keep the motivation and the momentum going this year. Again, one day we will live in a world without Alzheimer's. Because of all of us together, we can look forward to seeing each of you participate in one of our 5 walks this year. 5 walks, and we're going to have the dates and times and the locations coming up here momentarily. But make sure you register today. See, right there they are. Thanks, Jill. I love this. I don't have to forward the slides. This is fantastic. I love it. But be sure you go online if you have not registered. But register today at alz.org/walk. Make sure that you are involved locally in each of your communities and areas as listed here. Again, feel free to volunteer, create a team, or if you want to be a sponsor, or your organization wants to be a sponsor, or a company would like to be a sponsor, let us know. We are here, and we look forward to working with you and being with you this year. And it might be virtually, but it's going to be exciting, and we can make some significant changes along the way. And I think this has actually kind of challenged us too. I know we've talked as a chapter and as well as our walk captains and committee members that, this has challenged us a little bit, but what's really challenged us, we've become more creative and we come up with really neat and innovative ideas on how we can do fundraising virtually and things that are different that we never thought of before, because we always had that in-person connection, which, some of us have missed deeply. But you know what? We can do this year. I know we can. We all have goals that we want to hit, and we all need to raise the money so that we can keep providing those services for those who are caring for loved ones and those who are affected with Alzheimer's and other dementia. So again, thank you so much for your time today. I want to wish you all well, and please be safe and have a great rest of your day. And I think the team is, I think the Alzheimer's Associate, the staff members are going to stay on. So if you have questions or you want to chime in, I think you can chat in questions and we can answer those too. I've got some time. I'm going to stay on too. You can stop. You can say I don't have to keep talking anymore. You don't have to listen to just me anymore. But thank you so much for all you do and all that you've done and what you're going to do with us this year. I know we can make a significant difference in what we need. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Stan.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, thanks everybody. It's been great getting to know each other virtually. I've looked at all the pictures. I've been scrolling up and down looking at everyone's pictures and stuff. So it's been great.
Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to pop in and let us know. We're here.
Awesome.
I think I just unmuted everybody. So if anyone wants to chat,
But fair game, everybody. She unmuted you.
Great presentation.
watch out.
I enjoyed it.
Off and on. I guess check it again.
I enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stan, you did a great job.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. Thank you.
I sweat, but I don't know if it's something else now. Let me know if it works and you try it again. Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Stan. So appreciate the presentation today. So great to see everybody.
Good to see you, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you again virtually.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm excited to everybody do their walk their own way. We could, promote it the way we always do. It's just going to look a little different this year.
Yep.
Well, it's funny, Cheryl, that you said walk your own way because
I love
Florida, we came up with a slogan for our state and it's called Walk This Way FLA, which is kind of after the Aerosmith song. So
Yeah.
there you go. Uh-huh.
Great.
That's cool.
Love that. Love that.
Tie into Frank Sinatra, do it my way.
I know, right?
This is really a fun campaign. We could actually take people and have them promote their way song.
Dan, you can dress up as Aerosmith. I feel like each of the chairs could be a member of the
Aerosmith. So
Look out.
Stan's going to be Steven Tyler. I love that idea. I have a scarf you can borrow,
Steven Tyler
Stan.
20 years later.
He's already 20 years later.
He's preserved. He's pickled
I know,
enough that
right?
he's preserved. Uh-huh.
I saw Lori Holmes on here, our Parrot Head team, right, Allie? Did you see her? I love seeing everybody on here. It's awesome.
I know.
A shout out to all team captains and all our sponsors that are on.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
support.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to close us out here, Stan, or Tracy, you want to close us out and I'll end the meeting?
Bye.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for everything you're doing and will do, and we look forward to seeing how you walk your way this year.
Thank you.
Well,
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks.